Welcome to this video on the dilation of some trig functions. So in this video we're going to have a look at how we can determine the amplitude and the period of functions involving trig functions. So consider in part A we've got f of t, so function of t equals, the function is defined as 2 sine 3t. Now what we want to know is, we want to know for this function, we don't have to graph it, we just want to know what is the amplitude and what is the period. So recall our general form for, say, sine functions. We've got a sine nt, and what we know is that our a is the amplitude and our n, or we can say 2 pi over n, this is our period. So looking at this function here, our a, so our a here is, over here it's 2, and our n, so n over here, the coefficient in front of the t, it is 3. So in this particular case, what we're going to find is we've got an amplitude, or a, of 3, and we'll have a period. So because our n is also 3, sorry, no, we've got an a of 2, that was a bit silly, so we've got an a of 2, so we're going to get we've got an amplitude of 2, and our n is 3, so we're going to get a period. So a period is going to be 2 pi over n, which is going to be 2 pi over 3. So our period will simply be, 2 pi over 3. Now going down to our next question, we've got this one here, f of t equals negative half sine 2, or t over 2. So f of t, and this is question B, equals negative half sine t over 2. So again, a is going to be negative half, so our amplitude is going to be a negative half. So this will flip our sine about the x-axis, so it will be flipped upside down. And n in this case is going to be the coefficient in front of the t, which is a half. So the period for this case is going to be 2 pi over n, which is the same as writing 2 pi times 2 over 1, and then scrolling down, our period, so therefore our period is going to be 4 pi. So we're going to actually stretch this particular wave outwards. Now for question C, let's have a look at what we got. So we've got function of t equals 4 cosine of 3 pi t. So we've got function of t equals 4, and was it? It was a cosine 3 pi t. Cosine 3 pi t. And moving onwards, we've got an amplitude of 4, so it's going to have a maximum of 4 and a minimum of 4. And because it's a cosine, it's going to start off at 4, and it will go down to 0, then down to negative 4, then back up to 0, and back up to positive 4, finishing there. And our n is going to be 3 pi, which means that our period, in this case, is going to be 2 pi divided by 3 pi. Thus our period is going to be, period equals 2/3. So that is how we would calculate the amplitude and the period for these trigonometric functions.